Hey friends, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today we're going to be planting up in front of this chicken coop, or as my wife calls it, the chicken castle. I think it's kind of funny. Regardless of what it's called, we're going to be planting up in front of it. I did swing by Home Depot for something particularly, for something not even particular to the garden. It was actually for something in the home, and I seen that they were having a big sale, so I went over there. If you're like me, when you go to these box stores, you might go pick up a jug of milk or something, and you end up just taking a peek at their plants. Well, I took a peek, and lo and behold, Home Depot has their trees and shrubs 50% off, so I took advantage of it. That's why we're in front of this now, and the video I was going to bring to you today is going to be put on hold, and it's okay because it'll all tie in eventually. So we are going to be adding several things into the garden. I took advantage of picking up boxwoods, hydrangeas, lyrope, the variegated kind, and monkey grass. So we'll be kind of designing that area behind me with those 5 plants. Yeah, 5 plants, and we'll see what those 5 plants can, give to this space behind me. There are things that are going to be happening later on down the road. A lot of good suggestions about the coop once I revealed it. So window boxes, my wife and I had talked about that. Shutters, we had talked about that. Putting something on front of the hobbit door, the entrance. We'll be talking about that and doing that down the road. So there are a lot of fun things. You guys are my kind of people, and I'm probably relatable to you because the things that you guys were coming up with, we had a lot in common. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, so right before we get started, I do want you to know that I will just pop in the names of the plants because I get to be in the chatterbox when I recap, and I may forget to add the names. So as I plant them, I will be posting the name on the screen. That way you can clearly see what it is. And so if you missed that, just go back to kind of where I plant these plants, and then you'll have the name. Also, you'll remember I had the gazebo behind me. Those of you who have been with me for a while, I tore that gazebo down because we planted that before we had trees. Now the trees are well established enough that the gazebo no longer stood. Its purpose was to give us shade, and that's out the door. We had the trumpet vine, no, pardon me, we had wisteria. That's right, so we had the wisteria. So part of the reason the gazebo came down was because the wisteria had been there for 7-ish years, and although it did the job, it had now started to grow into the trees. It really took off, and it was a lot of maintenance for my wife and I to come out here just so that we could get it trimmed back in time for it to give us very beautiful blooms. I do miss the blooms, however, I do not miss having to cut that thing back in the smoldering heat in July and August and the mosquitoes and stuff. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is the wisteria vines and the trunk was all in the space that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be digging a trough. That's not typically what I would do. I would never dig a trough to plant a lot of plants. Maybe if I was going to plant some bulbs, but I typically don't do that, especially in these clay soil. So I'm going to have to dig a trough just so I can remove a lot of the roots from that wisteria vine, and we will do our best to just kind of give the plants that we'll be planting today kind of a fresh start and not have to go into the ground and then fight against all the roots, because I do have the maple tree and the different trees and roots that will be going through here. I will do my best not to disturb those, but at the same time I want to get rid of that wisteria vine, and I can see the roots. I know what the roots are to that vine, and if you've had wisteria and dug it up before, you'll know the roots kind of look different than the maple tree roots. Anyway, so I'll be digging that trough. Also, while we're watching the video, as you start to see, I have clay soil here. So those of you who are not familiar with clay soil and you're asking me why am I filling that up with water, the trough up with water as I'm going, that's not what I'm doing. This clay soil, all that moisture, we've had, I don't know, probably 10 inches in the last couple 10 days probably. So pretty wild. We had 3 inches, and then we had a 2-inch rain, and then another 2.5-inch rain, and maybe a 1.5-inch. It's just been a lot of rain come through, and I'm ecstatic. My wife's ecstatic because we don't have to spend the money on the water bill. So anyways, the reason why this trough will start to fill up with water is because all that moisture is going to start filling that empty void, and you'll probably see rather quickly how immediate that hole feels. So yes, the plants will be going up above the baseline. So if you're new to planting and you have your soil is standing here, you want to just go up just a couple inches above and build that soil up so that your roots down at the bottom, especially if you have clay soil, don't get a lot of moisture and start to have root rot and kind of take away from the functioning parts of these plants, and which are the blooms, right? We all plant just basically for the blooms. So as you're watching this, just know that I'm not back here secretly putting a water hose in there to fill this up. So anyways, oh, and I also got some boulders. I've had boulders, and I kind of always pick up loose rocks as I'm driving back roads, and people will be perhaps moving, and they know I like different things for the garden. So I do have a bunch of boulders that I will incorporate. So if you might be able to see them right now, we'll put those in there, and that kind of just adds more color and breaks up the monotonous greens and browns that are in the garden. So anyway, enough chatter. Let's get this started, and let's see how this all unfolds. And yeah, I can't wait to share it with you. I'm actually excited because those of you who follow me know I shoot from the hip a lot of times. I'm not sitting back with a notepad and kind of drawing it out. I shoot from the hip. I put it in the ground, and if I don't like it, I might wiggle it to the left or wiggle it to the right or remove it altogether. So let's get started. I'll shut up now, and we'll fight off these mosquitoes and get this trench dug, and see where the whole project leads us. Let's get started. Okay friends, I'll start right here, and please forgive me, I haven't edited it yet. This did take 2 days. The project up there only took a couple hours to do, but when I started digging the trench, then I think that was on the 1st or 2nd, and there was just too many fireworks already going off, so I had to kind of pull off. And then, like I said, when I found the 50% off at Home Depot, that was by chance. That was actually today. As I'm filming this, this is Friday, so you guys will see this tomorrow morning, which will be waking up on a Saturday. You all have seen what I did yesterday. Within just a few hours, it turned out really well. So this project is, you know, was cheap, and then not very difficult at all to put together. You just had to imagine where to put things. But the reason why I'm starting here is because I had several questions asked. What is this plant? Do you know what this plant is? Everybody's like, what tree is this? Can you tell what it is? That is a smoke bush that I'm allowing to grow into tree form, and just kind of continue to limb it up and cutting it back, because I really like that multi-trunk. It fascinates me. I love it. Anyway, so we're gonna move back around here, but I wanted to answer that. And again, I apologize if I've already covered that and you hear it twice. I will know once I do it, and I'll try to hide it so I don't annoy you guys. But look, I think it turned out so charming. I do feel like we need to correct a few things, and when I say correct a few things, it means I need to go back to the store and make another purchase. What do I mean by that, I guess I should say, is I feel like I need a few more of these Lyrope, the variegated kind. I feel like it needs to fade a little bit more, so it's not abruptly right there. And then it's kind of competing against that door. There's a little bit. Maybe it's highlighting it, or perhaps it's too much chaos, but I'm not moving it. I absolutely love it, especially once it surrounds those railroad ties. And off video, well, of course, I will probably edit it in that I blew this off, but off video, I did wash this down because, like I said, we had got so much rain here recently that when I was digging, I couldn't get the mud out of the cracks. So it's a little bit darker right now than it will be once it dries out, especially those railroad ties. But yeah, I think it turned out really well. Ignore the mess back there. I will be adding something to go right over here. So sorry about putting my hand in there, but I really want to be clear where we're talking about. So back where that bench is, that bench won't stay there. It might be charming in the video, but it is too large of scale for the hobbit door and this little chicken coop that I put together. So that will be moving. I just got it out of the grass, set it right there, and also to kind of hide the ugly that's behind it for right now, because I've still got a lot of tools and debris that I will try to mask off in this video, just to kind of get your mind wrapped around what we've just done here in the last couple hours. I had a friend that brought me a tree stump or some type of driftwood years and years ago. I've got that stuff laying throughout the garden. A lot of folks know that I like to do things in the garden, so they'll bring me a rock, a stone, or something, and it's so fascinating because, one, they thought about me, two, they're on vacation, and three, there's a story behind a lot of these things that you know, maybe I just have with myself or my family. But I think it's fascinating that people will think about others while they're spending their own personal time away from the state. But anyway, yeah, so let's look at what we've done here. Obviously, I told you guys I put the names up for all these plants, but I really like this Ajuga. I think Ajuga is very underrated as far as a ground cover, and I have probably far too much in here, or let me say I probably paid far too much. I think it was like $6.99 a tray. You get 6, I believe. Honestly, 6 would have done. I got 2 trays, so I had 12. If you've dealt with Ajuga, you know that won't take long before it spills right over and flirts with that sidewalk, and I can't wait for that. And then it kind of will, you know, it's probably gets, I'd say 6 to 8 inches, maybe 10 inches, and then puts off those beautiful blue blooms early in spring. And so this will be a wonderful little area, along with, and I'm pretty consistent with plants in the garden, so I've got that echoing throughout, you know, a lot of these rooms in the garden. So I think when it's all said and done, it'll flirt with the sidewalk and those stones and romance it really well come next season. Did I go a little overboard and spend an extra $7? Probably so, but I'm an instant gratification type guy. I really go after it, and my wife will tell me I'm crazy a lot of the times that I will spend money when I probably should just wait it out, but I'm instant gratification or else it just loses me. So the stones, maybe too many stones on the back, but I really wanted to kind of separate the soil and anything going in and back towards the coop. It probably looks like it's sitting on the ground, but it's up high enough that I'm not going to have any wood rot or anything, but I don't want over the seasons that to happen. Hopefully you guys find this as charming as I do. I think it really turned out well. So if you start to think about it, and I can kind of go around behind me, especially if you're new to the channel. I say that a lot because we are growing like pretty good, right? We're finally I'm starting to put out stuff that relates to you folks, and it's actually happening. So that's fun, and you guys are sharing with other people, which is fun. And so this channel's starting to grow. So when I say if you're new to the channel, that's why I get a lot of messages and whatnot, whether email, Instagram, on this channel itself, but I get a lot of feedback, and new to gardening is what I hear a lot. And so welcome all you newcomers, and thank you for watching. That being said, that in the background we will fence off. I don't want to flirt with the idea that we're gonna take away from this, but I have a really cool idea about adding another piece, and we'll close this off about where that bench is, and then it kind of starts to I'll start creating another room in a way. And so we'll just continue to do these things, these little rooms, which allows me to charm the heck out of this back of this garden. So looks like I've missed a tag right there. I thought I got them all, and I knew the second that I didn't get all those tags, I would find one right in the middle of this this little video. So just to emphasize the rooms, like we talked about the rooms, I want to come over here and kind of take you away, and hopefully this isn't too much in this part of the video, but you see the lights that we put in. You see them up there with the Spanish moss coming down, and you can start to see, you can create your own little idea of what's going on back here. I did add some lights to those light fixture. I'll probably do a light video here soon for the night. I did have to laugh. I laughed pretty good. Someone commented that I planted enough potato vine in these planters for like 4 counties or whatnot. I thought it was funny, but you're right. But instant gratification, right? So now I can start to go in there and pluck them and add them to other things in the garden, other areas, and that's kind of how we do it. We are going to fix this fence. We're probably 90-10, 90% love it. 10% are like, you need to do some more with it, or just absolutely like pull it. I do have something for it. I think it'll tie it all together. Again, we've got the ladder that somebody suggested we put off to the side, and I did so. And then right here, got one extra plant that I'll probably put in a pot and put there. But we do have the little water fountain that I put in last season. I do need to get it turned on. I turn it off every time for this video because these cameras will pick up all that sound. Of course, the little gazing balls, how wonderful is that? And the little bike, use your imagination. I love bikes. I love the story behind a bike being left for the last time. We got hydrangeas, and I mean, it's just spilling over with love right through here. But as we continue through, I've got more and more that we can continue to add to make these look like little rooms and pockets throughout the garden. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I hope it turns out just as well as it looks here. What are you thinking? What's your thoughts? Any of these plants speak to you? Are you going to run out to Home Depot and find you a little wish list and bring home and do something? I think it'll be fascinating if Home Depot sees an increase in sales just off of the small little bit of people that are following this channel. But Anyway, I would appreciate it if you liked it. Hit the subscribe, share it with some more of your friends, and let's continue to make this channel grow together. Thank you guys so much. Again, I've added all the plants on the video, so hopefully if you're asking for a name, you can just go in there and watch the beginning of the video when I plant these in there, and you'll be certainly on your way. I can't wait for that vine to grow up here and romance the heck out of this area, and I think it'll be so swell, and it's going to bring hummingbirds. We talked about the trumpet vine, and a lot of you agree that the trumpet vine is a no-goes. I did find out from one of you that said the chickens are actually that it's poisonous, so trumpet vines are poisonous for chickens, and the only reason why I brought that up in the suggestion is I've got a couple vines in the garden, one, and then two, it's kind of littered throughout the neighborhood. When we moved here, a lot of people have it throughout, and I'm talking like most of this this community probably does. And honeysuckle, I kind of know why they probably do. A lot of you have talked about how aggressive it is, and it is. I've seen it pop up in other yards close by, but I've also seen it in their yards growing as a focal point. So I did not add trumpet vine there based off of the poisonous, and you're right, I need to do a better job of communicate that in the video to make sure that we're not continued just because you can't make two wrongs a right. So just because somebody else has it doesn't mean we just keep doing it. So I do have it in the garden, but hopefully I will stop at that and just start to add either more natives or things that are, won't take off and harm the community. So but yeah, this is going to be fun as it continues to grow, and we'll go right up in here. And the way I have the shingles up here, and then the galvanized steel there, the roofing tin, I think it's so much fun. And we'll see. We've got something coming for here. We might do some shutters. We're definitely going to do some type of planter's box on there, kind of give it some color. But you can see how we use this little section right here to kind of we've got a lot going on here, and then it's like turning a page. You take a breath and then you turn the page, right? So it's kind of like a calming piece before you run into the coop. So we'll just continue to do those type of things throughout the garden, and until you turn the page and you go into a new section of the garden or another room, as I say. Yeah, hopefully you guys like what we're doing here, and you hit the like, hit the subscribe. Like I've said, go to my Instagram if you'd like to follow me on Instagram. I typically post this right before I post a video, so kind of know what's going on, and we just kind of communicate back and forth with each other. And yeah, that being said, we'll see you on the flip side, folks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.